Oh, and are we live? Yes, yes, yes.
Feels like it.
I guess we're live, guys. Welcome to Box Football. Still waiting for a few people to come on, but getting a bit of a weird echo right now. But Jack, Italy just beats Spain on penalties, and they are true to the final. Not a vintage Italian performance, especially going on what we have seen in this Euros, but they've gone through. But Jack, tell me, what did you think of the game? And guys, if you have anything to say, any comments on the game, please hit that comment section and let us know.
I think there might have been an echo because it wasn't coming through my mic; it was coming through my laptop. So hopefully that's all cleared up now.
I think it is.
Yeah, obviously looking forward to hearing any comments. I mean, I think what this proved was that Spain are no idiots. And I think the thing that I really want to get into and discuss with you, James, is this idea that actually England probably wouldn't want to play Spain. I mean, you can tell me your own kind of thoughts and your own opinions on that, but I think England, if they beat Denmark, I'm not going to take it as a given, but if England beat Denmark, I think realistically they'd probably prefer to play Italy. Don't you think? I mean, this Spain team with Busquets, Koke.
Silver Surfer, welcome. Thank you. Always there. Listen, good evening to you. Always there. Always representing. Appreciate it. Tell me what did you think of the game?
But I look at the defense and the midfielders and also the attackers, and the fact that they don't really have any overly aggressively attacking players in the starting lineup. Like, England versus Spain might have been an 80% possession game to Spain. Do you agree with that? Or
yeah, I felt that. Yes, I get it. Spain played well, but I felt the outcome was always going to be the same at the end of the day. It's very predictable because listen, this Spain team played wonderful football. They were terrific. That first half performance, Jack. I think in the first 20 minutes. Italy had 55 passes compared to Spain's 183 passes. So they nearly tripled in passes the amount of passes Italy had. They had 70% possession. They were pulling it like Italy here, there, and everywhere. They didn't know how to live with them. But as I just kept on saying to my brother, the longer this game goes on and Spain don't score and don't get don't go ahead, they're not going to win this game. And as soon as it got the penalties to me, I just thought the inevitable was going to happen. Better goalkeeper, better penalty savers. But I mean, I'm not really a surprise. You got Andre Silva here put that Spain deserved to go through. I mean, Adrian Silva. I mean, Adrian. Listen,
both central midfielders. Let's be fair.
Listen, pretty decent to be fair. But listen. Going based on performance, yes, Spain were absolutely terrific. Just completely killed Italy in every area of the pitch. Jack, go ahead.
Italy's worst game of the tournament.
Yes, that was. That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah,
and they got
Italy,
through.
For me, that's a crazy thing. First of all, guys, if you have any comments on Italy, on Italy Spain game, please comment down below and let us know. And the guys, if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. But yes. Jack, Italy have been nearly perfect. Again, the Austria game, they weren't that amazing, but they've been perfect throughout this whole tournament. They were amazing against Belgium, but today they didn't play well. But let me tell you something about semi-finals and finals, even knockout competitions. You don't got to play well. You just have to get results. And to me, if you're England, Italy are a bit of a dangerous one because you don't know what you're you're going to get for them. And what you do get could still have an outcome of England losing. That's the biggest problem.
All I'm worried about, and I'm trying my hardest not to do it, but I'm worried about you and me talking about an England-Italy final, and England haven't beat Denmark yet. I'm not trying to call you out for you assuming it, because I feel like
listen,
James, I'm probably going to do it about 50 times in this video. But
listen, Jack, we're going to get into that. I can't wait for tomorrow. But I just said, yes, I recognized you. I knew you played for Portugal in the 2000. I knew it. I knew I recognized you. But,
that's awesome. Good for you.
Italy seemed calm and enjoyed the game. Listen, I felt Italy were worried after Spain got the goal, and that in that little 15-minute period or 30-minute period after Spain got the goal, they looked a bit helpful. Like Donnarumma was snatching at some shots, punches like being missed. There was one from Sergio Busquets where Donnarumma was in no man's land. The ball heads over Donnarumma, and I'm thinking it's gonna go in. It just goes wide. I'm thinking, oh, if Spain just had that extra they would have went through. But
yeah. Or an out-and-out striker, James. Like, let's be.
Listen. We're gonna listen. The few things that I want to get to when it comes to Spain. But we have another comment from Sammy here.
Welcome. It wouldn't have been good for football if Spain won the Euros playing Laporte and Pau Torres as centre backs. I don't feel that strongly about it, but okay.
I know Jack is a big what's it called, Laporte fan, but
I do like Laporte.
I want to notice something right here. I want to bring something up. Were you surprised that Morata didn't start the game, guys? Also, were you guys surprised that Morata didn't start the game in the first place?
Can I? It's this weird thing that I have with Luis Enrique because I've got so much respect for Luis Enrique. I've said this in previous videos and I stand by it. Luis Enrique listens to one man with squad selection, team selection, tactics. He listens to himself.
But now, first of all, with Luis Enrique, this is how much he listens to himself. You were given an option of having 2 extra players for the squad. Instead of him taking 26, he took the 24 originally that he was meant to take. That just shows you a man that he doesn't like change. Whatever he says goes. Yeah,
and credit where credit's due, James, because you live and die by the sword in that respect. If Spain do well, right, and if they'd have made it to a final or even won the thing, you'd go, oh my God, he made some questionable selection decisions and tactically he wasn't quite spot on, but holy hell, fair play, right? But then also if it doesn't go so well, then there are always going to be question marks. So what I would, James, I've forgotten the question. What the hell was the question?
We were just talking about Luis Enrique and his questionable decisions.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. We were talking about Morata not starting. So to me, James, if you're a team that creates loads of chances but doesn't finish, I would probably find a way to start Moreno and Morata. Now, you could say, well, playing both those guys, you're messing up the whole system and it just wouldn't work. But as far as I'm concerned, those are probably, in terms of finishing, going to be your 2 biggest goal threats. So I don't understand why you wouldn't find a way to put them both in the team. However, saying that, and you and I have talked about this before, this is the highest scoring team in the whole competition. Now, we know it hasn't been convincing. We know that. But to me, you could argue that Luis Enrique has been vindicated in his decision to not always play the 2 of those guys because, he's still scoring the goals, right? And he made it to a semi-final with a team where you'd say, it's not as good as Spain have been over the past 10 years. Sammy, Pedri is what Madrid fans think Odegaard and what City fans think Foden is. I agree with you. I actually very much agree with that comment. I think you're spot on.
Pedri, I think Pedri had like a 98 pass completion rate, 55. Like it was ridiculous. He showed everyone that when we did a review of the tournament, like we did our predictions for the tournament, and I had this thing called the breakout star. Pedri was my breakout star. Now, if you're in Spain, you wouldn't think that he's a breakout star, but the rest of the world didn't know Pedri that well.
Right.
Today was his coming out party for the rest of the world. I said this a long time ago. He's one of the most talented young football players I've seen. The ability that like this guy has is out of this world, and for him to show it on the world stage like that and let everyone know that yes, Xavi and like Iniesta are done, but I'm the next blend of both of them put together. Beautiful. But he was James, sensational.
What I'd argue in terms of just it being impressive is over 90 minutes, it was 100%. And you think, oh, yeah, whatever. He's just doing sideways and backwards passes. No, he's not. He's progressing play. He's playing some passes of a high level of difficulty, executing them, bringing the ball forward, and he's still getting it done. So credit where credit's due for Pedri.
I think I found this stat to show like Pedri has completed the most passes in the final third or like something.
James, like I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong too. He's run more than any player in the whole tournament. I'm not kidding. And that's a tournament. I know Kante's now out of the tournament, but that includes those caliber of players. So it tells you that this guy isn't just a one-trick pony. He's arguably the whole package in midfield. Silver Surfer, if Italy beat England in the finals, they are deserving winners. They have been the best team along with England. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that the most convincing team, the team who has played at the highest level across the board, you would say is probably Italy. And I think you're right. You know, Italy beating England in the final. I think I said this to James maybe a couple of days ago. Like, you know, England, even if it's at Wembley, losing to Italy in the final, the way they've played, I'm not going to say it's going to be a disappointment or a failure, but it's probably the most acceptable way to go out of the tournament. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's true. Adrian Silva, Morata giving his in-laws a gift, helping Italy reach the final. Hey, you know, you got to keep the in-laws happy somewhere. You know.
We have another one there. I mean,
come on, England, come on.
I mean, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Let's build up the channel. But just a quick one on Morata. And one thing that I think BBC brought up when they were doing the analysis on it, he plays for Italy. I mean, he plays for Juventus. Two centre backs are who? Bonucci and Chiellini. So they know. So they know him as well as anyone. They worked with him for a whole year.
Yep.
Are you like?
It's going to be
a couple of years now, and like they know that him going toe to toe with them was not going to work. I think Enrique looked at it and said that I don't want my striker to go toe to toe with these guys. I want these guys to move. So what he did was went with the false nine, and the way it had with who's the striker that played for Spain again? Who's the striker?
Danny Olmo was playing false nine.
Yeah,
he's more of a number 10 at Leipzig, but yeah.
But like he was pulling like this Italian defense everywhere. And the thing about with the false nine is that as a defender, you don't know who to pick up. You don't know, should I go out and attract the striker? Should I go out and press him? Because if you do, there's going to be space left in behind. And credit to Morata. If you guys do look at the goal Morata scored, what did it come from? It came from him dropping deep into air where like he couldn't be picked up. And as the two defenders, they don't want to go ahead and like attack them like that. He received it, turned, went at them, 1-2 around both of them, opened it up. And that's what they don't want to do, right? They don't want players running at them.
Yeah, that's not the football that Chiellini or Bonucci want to play either. No. They want everything in front of them. They want to, you know, they're not going to be able to do that kind of agile reaction type, you know, centre-back play anymore, especially Chiellini. But James, what I do want to talk about, we'll get to Adrian Silva's comment, but I've got something I want to talk to you about afterwards. Only thing keeping England away from winning is COVID. English team, cricket team, just had 7 players test positive after a game in Bristol. One thing to be worried about. Hey, I'll be honest with you, like that's real. That's very real. And I think the way we've seen the pandemic, and guys, I am no authority on COVID-19, trust me. But what we've seen with this kind of most recent wave, they're calling it, is that it's not as lethal. So there aren't as many deaths or hospitalizations, but in terms of the case rate, it's definitely, you know, quite high. So I think the England team will play it smart. The only places they're going to be from now until the final are going to be Wembley Stadium or St. George's Park. So I'm hoping that there won't be any issues there and any isolation takes place as quickly as humanly possible. James, I know you and I are big on this. What's up, Omnifoot? How's it going?
Omni, welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate the love.
James, I know you and I are going to agree on this, so let's just vent our frustration together. How the hell does Adama Traore, against a second string couple of fullbacks who are very, very tired, how does the most lethal dribbler and physically dominant player in the whole tournament, apart from maybe Cristiano Ronaldo, not touch the pitch at any point?
Jack,
what the hell is that?
Jack.
Adama Traore, by the way, people watching.
Adama Traore, guys. Okay, the thing that got me the most, I was screaming for it before, but the image of Chiesa pulling up after Spain played that 1-2 around them, I just said that these guys are on their knees. How do you not put on Adama Traore where it's not like you tactically can get away from him? Physically, you have to try and stop him. You have to try and drag him down. And these players can't run. And he's not on the pitch.
Oil on the arms.
Listen, like I looked at it and you get a ton. We're all considered couch managers who just walk from our couch and just we don't know much. But Stevie Wonder could see this. Stevie Wonder knew that Adama Traore needed to come on that pitch and really stretch this Italian team.
James, it doesn't take a degree in sports coaching and management from UCFB to figure this kind of thing out, right?
No, it was the most obvious thing. Like, come on.
Also,
Spain
I think what it makes me think of as well, James, is like we can talk about that whole thing of, you know, like, yeah, we're here on our sofas and in our chairs and we're making the comments and we're not Luis Enrique. Sure, that's all fine, and you're absolutely right.
Jack, we have just a little bit of an interesting comment here. But...
Okay, Omnifoot TV, been in the thick of it recently. I predicted an Italy-Denmark final from the get-go, and I'm personally hoping that happens. I'd love to see. First of all, I'd love to see some proof. But second of all, if that's true,
proof on if you said that,
dude, and also, if you did say that, why is there no money on that? Come on.
Listen, money could have been made, and that could have been ridiculous.
But James, like, I think the thing that bothers me the most is, like, you know, a quick anecdote. There's an NFL quarterback from way back when, and he was actually engaging with me on Twitter maybe a year ago, right? And you know, real legend, MVP, Hall of Famer, like level of quarterback. And he responded to me like 2 or 3 times. And the end of the conversation was me going, dude, you're like an NFL MVP and Hall of Famer. I'm not gonna have this conversation with you. I have no leg to stand on. But this one was so obvious. I'm rejecting that. I'm rejecting that argument outright. Like you said, Stevie Wonder could have seen it. I mean, think about it. We've all played defense at some point in our lives at whatever level, whether it's on the weekend or for our schools or whatever, right? Maybe some of us have played some academy football here and there. There are certain players who you look at and go, gee, I don't want that guy to come on. And there's a reason you don't want the guy to come on. And Adama Traore is like the epitome of that.
Jack, that last 30 minutes, even extra time, like that last, like to me, the first 30 minutes, I was like, okay, he has to come on now. And apparently he was getting, like, he was ready to come on. I think before Morata scored, and I'm guessing he must have changed it for that reason. But surely, after the 19th minute, he should have been the first guy on the, like, to me, like the first guy on the substitute bench, ready to go. I turn around, the camera goes on. I'm thinking, okay, Adama Traore is going to come on now. I'm seeing Thiago getting ready. I'm like, what?
What is happening?
Like, no, seriously. Some people were telling me, James, is this a race issue? So I don't know, but it just seemed like clearly, like, calm in this situation here.
I'm just trying to think of the black players on the Spain team, and there aren't many coming to mind. I'll tell you that.
Apparently, Adama Traore has been linked to Tottenham, and to be fair, I won't be surprised if that happens. And if it does happen, it's a problem. Nuno might turn Tottenham into like Wolves, to be fair. And listen, Omni, could you put the link, down here, and I want everybody to go check out the link. So Omni, please put the link down of of that video there.
Yeah. If it was a week ago, I might be like, but if it was like a month ago, I'm going to be like, what the hell, you know?
That is crazy right now. Sammy, Italy badly need a striker. Listen, I totally agree. Immobile, I'm sorry, Jack. He gets into the park of, I probably put him in that Morata stratosphere, but he's good at penalties. Seriously.
He's better than Morata. I think Belotti is also better than Morata. I think the problem is I don't think they need a striker in that respect. I think it's the style of striker that they would need. Because, you know, and I look at this, Immobile somewhat reminds me of Harry Kane a little bit, because there isn't this kind of like outstanding trait which you would look at and go, wow, they are just so good at this, right?
No, but Jack, like Harry Kane's shots are literally the best in the world. His shooting ability is ridiculous. His shooting, his passing. Harry Kane has a number of amazing stuff that he's great at. I'm not sure what Immobile is great at.
But he can't do it by himself, I guess, is my point. Kane does not have the ability to just be able to do it by himself. He needs to be put in the position by his teammates to then put the ball in the net. And I think Immobile is very, very similar in that respect. It's a kind of, like, you know, the way a Zlatan or a Lewandowski can just out of nowhere do something and you go, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think that Kane and Immobile, they do require their team to put the work in so they can succeed.
To be fair, I think Kane can produce something out of nothing now. Maybe not on the echelons of a Henry or R9 type, but I think that you give Kane the ball, put 2 defenders in front of him, he can wiggle half a yard in like final shot. Like he's done it on a number of occasions. While Immobile is like, I'm actually not sure what he's good at. Does he run in behind well? Right? Is he a great finisher? Like what type of great trait does he have as a striker? Jack, bear in mind, this guy, yeah, 2 seasons ago, beat Ronaldo to the Golden Boot. He scored 30 goals in Serie A. He's a 30-goal man in Serie A.
He's a great
finisher.
Like he's a top level finisher, but there's a reason why he doesn't enter the conversation with Haaland, Benzema, Kane, Lukaku, Mbappe, Ronaldo. There's a reason why he is in that kind of 1 or 2 tiers below, because it's impressive and it's good, but he's not quite that guy. I do think Immobile is a striker of a quality to win a Euros and of a quality to win a World Cup for a team such as Italy. And we've seen him. He has scored. He has scored a couple this tournament, which has been okay. But I think expecting more. Yeah, I'd probably say so. James, I think the biggest comment has been when Andrea Belotti comes on. It's not that much of a drop off, really, is it?
I felt Belotti was a bit more brighter than Immobile. Like
today's
game,
if I'm being
sure, 100%. Honest, I'm still waiting on the video. All right, we have a comment here. Oh my days!
Bad from Morata, third master. I don't know about the profile picture there, bro.
I'm not sure about that, but I'm not gonna lie, guys. Tell me this, and please comment down below for this, and let me know what you think. But generally, when Morata stepped up, did you honestly believe that he was going to score?
No.
Because as soon as he grabbed the ball and he was looking at the ball, I just said, listen, this guy's missing without a shadow of a doubt. And the penalty showed up. But with him missing right there, it sums up to me Morata's career in a nutshell. Good moments here or there, but overall, it's an ultimate disappointment.
Do you not think, though, that he's the victim of the fact that he is the best of a really bad class of Spanish strikers? Do you know what I mean? Like James, if you take Morata's level and inject it into a midfield player, they wouldn't be even in the squad. They'd be nowhere near, right? But because he is the best of what is basically a bad bunch of Spanish number 9s, he just kind of has to play. So he's always going to get the criticism, because the problem is you're Spain's number 9. You're Spain's number 9. Now, we can privately say, well, he's kind of the best of a bad bunch. We can argue about Gerard Moreno, sure, right? But you would say that 1 or 2 better players than Morata, and he wouldn't touch the pitch as a striker, would he? Really?
I don't know. For me, about Morata is this. I like some of his play. I think his hold-up play is good. I think the runs he make is right. The problem with Morata overall is that as a striker, your overall contribution is goals. That is the main thing. If you cannot score goals, I'm sorry, especially at this level. Yeah, it's all right. Okay, if you're playing for a Blackburn Rovers or like a Swansea or like whatever, but at the highest, Roque Santa Cruz, but at the highest level, Jack, if you're not scoring goals for a top nation or a top club, I can't really rate you, and that's the problem with him. You give him 10 chances, you expect him to score 3. That's not a high level striker.
But the other problem as well, James, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, the man's career path is like something out of FIFA career mode. The guy's got.
Has he ever been at a bad team? Has he ever been on a bad team?
No, and that's the thing. Like, that's why and you know me, I'm all about environment. When you're playing in these great teams who are always going to serve you up chances, he'll score enough. But we all know that he's really not of the quality that he should be. The fact that Juventus want to keep extending this loan that's like 10 million euros per season of a loan, it's like, come on, guys, surely you can see, Dusan Vlahovic at Fiorentina's out there. Come on, we need to step things up here a little bit.
He's had one serious career looking at the teams he's played for, but I don't know. I think it's more or less what he offers outside of goals. Like, for instance, right now, you would have Morata and Giroud in a bit of a contest. But personally, like, I would still go for Giroud as an overall better player, because we know exactly what Giroud is. While Morata is like, you wish that he's guy, because he had that ability to be that guy, but he's just not that guy at the same time.
But what's the there's some stupid stat that he's now in a club with Ronaldo. I think it's like 3 or more goals in consecutive Euros is just him and Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's like, okay, all right, maybe, but you know,
Listen, but I think Morata has the most goals for Spain in all international tournaments. Morata's number one, which is a crazy stat there. I'm pretty sure David Villa scored like what 10 or something like that. I'm pretty sure about that. Morata should, yes. So I mean, I totally.
I agree with you. I agree with them too. He should be a top level backup. That's like, I would argue, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up his arse. I don't really rate him like that, but that's like the best thing you could be asking for. If you're a club and Alvaro Morata is your backup striker, your club's in good shape. Like that, your depth chart at the striker position for your club is going to be in very, very good shape. But if he's starting and you're a top club, like chances are you're gonna, you're not gonna just blow teams out with him getting like 30 goals. What's up,
Jack? I just want to ask you another question, guys. And guys, please comment. I see there's a few people in the chat right now. You have any questions for us about anything? Comment down below, especially about the game. But Chiesa,
transfer
Jack,
stuff too.
We're willing to answer. But Chiesa, Jack, this guy is becoming the biggest of like the big game players. You felt if anyone was going to score for Italy, it was going to be him, and it was him. What a goal! But Jack, where's he come from? Seriously.
So it's. I feel like if you don't play for Juve, most of the time people outside of Italy aren't going to really know what you're about and who you are. And I get it, and I totally get it. Right, I do. But Berardi and Chiesa are two players where it's like, yeah, these guys have been good for like a pretty decent chunk of time right now, but you're just seeing them now because they're playing for their national team. Chiesa, I don't quote me on this, but I think last year it was a loan from Fiorentina, and this season there's like an obligation to buy. So he basically signed for Juve last year, but I think it was classified as a loan, on loan from Fiorentina. And I believe actually after Chiesa left, that was when Frank Ribery came through the door at Fiorentina, which was obviously a great kind of throwback addition to Serie A last year. But yeah, James, the guy's great. And to knock out the types of like a Bernardeschi, who scored a great penalty tonight, by the way, and also somebody like a Kulusevski as well, and be kind of that proper starting right winger for Juventus, says a lot about the guy. Says a hell of a lot about the guy. And yeah, he's going to be a great player for a good couple of years going forward here for Italy and for Juve.
Guys, just a quick thing right now. If Jorginho does win the Euros,
let's get into that. Let's get into
Italy.
that, because I've got a couple of things I wanted to talk about for the podcast, but I guess this is kind of going to be our replacement for the podcast, maybe.
So, guys, if Jorginho has already won the Champions League with Chelsea, yeah, if he does win the Euros with Italy, should he win the Ballon d'Or? Because here's a guy who's won the Champions League with Chelsea and now has started in all the games for Italy and helped Italy win the Euros. Should he win the Ballon d'Or? Jack, what do you think in this situation?
No.
Wait. First of all, we have a quick one from Omni here.
OmniFoot TV. Apologies, guys. I checked the preview. I said they'd qualify from the group in the preview, so I said it in another video. Take a look for it. Yeah, no pressure. It's just a big statement. We love proof behind these big statements. We believe you, but we'd love to see some proof too.
But
James, no, look. I was talking to James about this the other day, people watching at home. If Ballon d'Or want to do a writer's award, right? Like a writer's Ballon d'Or of somebody where the narrative fits. Okay. So, James, correct me if I'm wrong. Who won the writer's award this year? Do you remember? Was it Foden? Sure. It might have been Foden. Anyway.
It might have been.
Neither here nor there. I understand it from a standpoint of like, who's got the best story? Jorginho came to Chelsea with Sarri and it wasn't quite working out. He got criticised and now he's won a Champions League and a Euros. I would understand. I really would understand from a narrative point of view. But if you truly
apparently he found that. Ooh.
If you truly believe that Jorginho, and I've got a very small list of names that I wanted to bring up, just to bounce off James. If you truly believe that Jorginho over the course of 2021 has been a better footballer than Lionel Messi, N'Golo Kante, Harry Kane, Romelu Lukaku, even Cristiano Ronaldo. If you truly believe that Jorginho has been better than those players, I don't know what to say to you, because we're clearly not watching the same game. Just because you are the common denominator of success does not mean that you are the best player. I could show you a bunch of players you've never heard of and will never hear of again. Lewandowski, Lewandowski is another great name.
He broke Gerd Muller's
Yeah,
record. You had that
unreal.
right.
Unreal.
Like that achievement alone is a Ballon d'Or worthy achievement for real. In like what in he played like 29 games, Jack.
Yeah,
Scored 40 odd goals.
But the example is that if you're the common denominator of success, that's fine. Like, good for you. Like, you've had success, but it's a team sport. What we're looking for is the person who's kind of that MVP level, who without you have no success. Lionel Messi for me should be head and shoulders above anybody for this year winning the Ballon d'Or. And if he wins tonight, we'll see him in the final on Sunday night. James and I are going live 1 a.m. Make sure everybody's got their coffee.
If it is Brazil, Argentina in the final of the Copa America, get your coffee ready and your popcorn ready. We will be going live for the Copa America final.
Because guys, Lionel Messi, and this is in my opinion what the Ballon d'Or should be about. And I know I've been talking for a while, James. I'll let you go in a second. If Messi plays his heart out, right, and scores a brace and gets an assist, but then Brazil win 4-3, Messi should still be winning the Ballon d'Or because he's been the best player in 2021. Romelu Lukaku doesn't have the goals or the assists, really, to compete with Harry Kane or Robert Lewandowski or Messi or these kinds of guys, right? And he's won Serie A, okay, fine, right. And great achievement though it was. But if you've watched the game, you'll know why he deserves to be a contender on that shortlist for a Ballon d'Or winner. And I'm sorry, but Jorginho is just not that guy. It's just not that guy. We're going to have Chelsea players. We have Chelsea players for Spain, for Italy, for England, and for Denmark. Okay? So all of them, you could argue, are going to win the Champions League and win the Euros. Does that mean they should also win the Ballon d'Or? Because I don't think so.
Listen, out of all the Chelsea players, probably Mason Mount will probably have the best chance of winning the Ballon d'Or if he does go on to win it with England. But Georgie, this is the thing about it. First of all, we have a little comment here. Okay, so
dude, if by J5 you mean Jorginho, you're crazy. Kante, I get it. Kante's a little shortlisted name I have. Like, Kante's been unbelievable, but Jorginho, really? I can tell you're a Chelsea fan, but come on, man, really?
Listen, Jorginho's performances for Chelsea was massive. For what he actually does for Chelsea is brilliant. Yo, the way he keeps the ball, he keeps it clicking, and physically, and like what he does getting around the pitch, he's actually been underrated. He's improved that like since he's joined Chelsea, but his performances hasn't let me feel like in awe of him. To me, he is a very, very good midfielder. He's a Sergio Busquets midfielder that in years' time, for what he does, will get his recognition. You say, right, oh, what he does on the ball, he keeps it ticking, all that sort of stuff. But to say that he's been the best performer, I'm not having that.
James, did he make our Premier League Team of the Year?
No. Unfortunately, and people make an argument that, okay, N'Golo Kante hasn't performed well throughout this whole year. He's played well in the Champions League. Yeah, I get that. But his performances in the Champions League alone, Jack, he got what? 3 man of matches in a row. He got a man of match against Atletico Madrid also.
The only thing stopping N'Golo Kante being regarded as the best midfielder in the world is purely because he's really good at the stuff that's not sexy and not cool. Right. If N'Golo Kante was as good as he is defensively, offensively, we'd be comparing him to Kevin De Bruyne and these kinds of guys, right? But unfortunately, he does do that kind of dirty work. So we're never going to give him that kind of love.
Look, I have a question for Luco. Am I right with the pronunciation? But does N'Golo Kante get into the team of the year this season? Because people can argue that he didn't play that well in the league, only played well in the Champions League, and his French team didn't come only in his French team got knocked out in the first round. I mean, in the second round of the Euros. So why does he get a Ballon d'Or nominee award? But I just go off from what I've seen from N'Golo Kante overall. I think he's I think he's been terrific. The only problem is that I don't think we can give him the award now. Unfortunately, I felt his performances in the Euros were good, but at least I wanted a little bit more from N'Golo Kante, if I'm being truthfully honest. You know, like, I get it, he played well for Chelsea in the Champions League, but the Euros was when, like, okay, he could have properly made like a proper claim for that. I don't think he's like he's done it. But the question is, like, another good one here.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude, Cormac Mass, what's up? I don't know if we've seen you in streams before, so hey, how's it going? Kane gets Golden Boot and Playmaker. How often does that happen? I agree with you, mate. I totally agree with you. To me, I said this to James earlier in the season. James and I had a bit of a discussion about it. For me, especially that early part of the season, Kane was the best player in the world. His Premier League performances had him down as the best player in the world. There were goals and assists, every single game. It was unbelievable. Just quickly, James, what I would say is that, yeah, of course he should be shortlisted. And if England win the Euros, it's just going to help his case. But to me, I don't think you can look at Kane's performances and also if you compare them to Messi's over this year. Because to me, debating it being anybody at this stage, I know we've still got a part of next season to go to fully finalize who are going to be the nominees for the shortlist. But there's a gap between Messi and everybody else for the Ballon d'Or this year, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, completely. But if Harry Kane does win the Euros,
your point, Cormac.
Yeah, but if Harry Kane does win the Euros, you talk about an individual performance. Jack, he's to me like that gap that you make with Messi, it closes. But my only problem is that if I'm being truthful now and I look at Kane's performances in the Euros, it changes the whole narrative to me. Because am I just giving it to him because of England's success? He hasn't been amazing,
Right, exactly. And that's the point. James, I have no doubt he'll score tomorrow, right? And I have no doubt that if the final comes on, maybe he scores a penalty. Who knows, right? He won't win it because he wasn't in the right competition. There's part of that. I think you do need to be playing in the Champions League and you do need to have some success. But I think if England do win the Euros, it will really help his case 100%. But James, you're absolutely right. Has Kane been one of the better England performers? No, I don't think so. I mean, we can obviously argue and debate that he hasn't had the service that maybe you would want somebody like him to have, but realistically, he's not had it. And you can't just go, well, we're giving it to him because if he had the service, he'd have scored. It's like, no, that's not the way we do the award. You need to actually do the job on the pitch.
Guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Let's keep the viewers going, guys. If you have any comments on this, who you guys think should win the Ballon d'Or?
Road to 500, everybody. I'm trying to get there.
Road to 500. Come on, guys. Like, let's get us there. But Jack, for me, the thing with the Ballon d'Or is that I like a good one here right now. Silver Surfer, Djokovic to win. Listen, Djokovic is probably going to win it, but come on, Federer. Federer, please, come on. He's 40 years of age. It'll be the most amazing thing if he does win it, but no one's going to stop Djokovic.
Wasn't it 18 quarterfinals in a row, James?
No, I think he's made it to the most. No, in a row, but he's made 18 quarterfinals in like Wimbledon, which is like.
Anyway, this is box to box football. We'll do box to box tennis later. Service.
We got box to box fighting soon. We have box to box. Wherever you guys want, wrestling is coming. We're gonna do WrestleMania. Jack, I don't even know where I was there for a minute. I was talking about the Ballon d'Or.
Kane. We were on Kane and the Ballon d'Or and that kind of conversation.
Oh, yeah. But my thing is that with everyone when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, I feel like we're almost sick of seeing Messi. And people are sick of seeing Messi and Ronaldo win the competition. But if we're being truthfully honest right now, basing it on individual performance, there's no one ahead of Lionel Messi for what he's doing. If you want to make a competition like a case for Lewandowski, I'll give it to you, or Kane. But if we're truly going on performance, Lionel Messi's ahead of everyone.
The only thing that makes it close, James, is a bad performance from Messi tonight and in the final where he loses, right? And then he has a poor start to next year because remember, he's still a free agent. And the way the rules are in La Liga right now, they are over the wage cap by 40%. So they can't officially register any of their new players or re-sign a player who will be the highest paid player at the club. So I'm just saying there's a lot that could go wrong for Messi for this Ballon d'Or bid.
There's definitely not. But Jack, Erling Haaland, how much of a chance do you think does he have?
Yeah, not for me just yet. I think that the problem is we've very rarely seen a player for a less than team who haven't won things win the Ballon d'Or. Now, we can argue that maybe he's a better player, right? We can argue that he's a more talented or more effective player than a lot of other people, right? But for me right now, I don't know, at Dortmund. Wait for that move to Real Madrid or Chelsea or something. Wait for him to score 30 goals, win a Premier League or an FA Cup. Then we'll see him in the Ballon d'Or.
Do you know what it is that he will win one now? But you have to be the best in your league for me to even consider you for the Ballon d'Or. And Lewandowski's been the best one. We have McGregor, Porter, Justin. I mean, we got McGregor versus Justin Poirier. Now, I'm being truthful. I'm a big MMA fan. I have McGregor winning this one. I felt that McGregor came into it.
Winning that one.
Jack McGregor, I feel like he's back to his old ways. There was a little clip of him sending a voice note to Dustin Poirier, said, "Dustin, I'm coming for you," and that old McGregor swag that makes him who he is.
I think he's focused on the money now. I don't know.
No. Jack, I'm predicting a McGregor knockout. And guys, if you really want us to cover this, we might have to go live for that. Listen. We'll see,
look, Haaland has a chance in the future, no doubt, Luco. The guy is. Talk about, we spoke about Kane and Immobile and these kinds of players who don't physically have it just within them to just do it themselves, right? Erling Haaland is that guy. He has size, he has speed, he has the technical ability. He has it all as a modern number 9. Sammy, Kane was so good for Spurs that he made people think Mourinho was a decent manager once again. Hey, I'm just can I just tell you? To me, that gives Kane big points in the Ballon d'Or, because seriously, the way that team was playing, it was just Kane and Son, just like, hey guys, just hop on our backs, we'll just carry you here.
Listen. Let's not diss him like that. Come on, let's not diss Mourinho like that, Sammy. Come on.
Bryson Coburn. I don't see a way Messi can't win the Ballon d'Or. Messi is dragging Argentina through the Copa America right now. Brilliant since last year. Bryson, I agree with you, mate.
Sorry.
I agree
Bryce,
with
if you, I'm pretty sure you've been watching the Copa America, and I've been stupid enough to stay up for some of them, because it's only 2 a.m. so it's not so bad. But the performances that Messi is doing, Jack, he's not only becoming. But like the performances, it's not just the goals, Jack. Messi's becoming the best playmaker in the world. The things that he does right now, his passing IQ is the best it's ever been in his career. What I think against, I'm not sure like who they played against again. I think it was Ecuador. 2 assists and an amazing free kick. Jack, he's becoming the whole package now. And yes, it's not the old Messi where he's taking it from the halfway line and dribbling past people, but his intelligence is on a different level at this moment of time.
Yeah, it's different. It's different, James. And like I said, there is a reason why he is head and shoulders above any other candidate right now. And it's clear for all to see. And guys, unfortunately, the conversation with the Ballon d'Or is split into 2 different channels. Right? There's what's going to happen and what me and James thinks should happen. Because just as an example, James and I didn't agree with Luka Modric winning the Ballon d'Or when he did. We didn't think that he was the best player over that year. We thought that was done on the narrative and all that stuff. And that's fine, but you've got to compare things equally and fairly to try and get the right result, or else what's going to happen is you're going to leave a lot of people ticked off. Cormac McManus, is Messi likely to stay at Barca or a surprising move somewhere else? Can I just tell you, I honestly think it's all based on finance and administration.
Also, Adrian Silva, we'll see you next time. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Adrian. Appreciate you. Cormac, it's administration and finance right now. Supposedly, I don't know how much this is to be believed, don't quote me on it. But supposedly, Barcelona are 40% above their wage bill as of right now. They also, by the La Liga kind of requirements that they have there, they can't actually sign any of their new players. And remember, Lionel Messi would technically be classified as a new player registration at this point. So to also re-sign Lionel Messi, it's all going to be on administration and finance. Now, can I see them potentially ruling out the signing of somebody like a Memphis Depay, of somebody like a Sergio Aguero, just so they can sign Leo Messi? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think they're going to sign Aguero and Depay and not sign Messi. Messi is always going to be the priority, because there will be teams like PSG who will be waiting.
But I've seen this thing of Barcelona are trying to get players like MTT off the wage bill, Braithwaite off the wage bill.
Junior Firpo just signed for Leeds.
Firpo is already left. No. Somewhere they're going to keep him like weirdly enough. Even player like a Coutinho, whose football's completely forgot about him. Like they're trying to get him off the wage bill. But Barcelona as a club right now, they are completely
Griezmann.
over the place. Maybe maybe even Griezmann, but to be 40% over your wage cap, how does that make sense? Like what are you doing? Who's doing the finances at that club? It makes no sense.
Also, James, the state of the club as well. Like, let's be fair, it's not in a terrible spot. I mean, if you've got the likes of a Pedri and Ansu Fati coming through, right? Like, there's definitely hope for the future here. Stop trying to re-sign and keep these guys on these bloated wages that clearly, unfortunately, just don't deserve their contracts. Let the young blood through because they are good enough.
Listen, I love Sergio Busquets, but for me,
I think that's KDB, right? I think he means De Bruyne, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Maria. But well, I mean, I think it's happened a lot with a lot of players. Players just leaving and becoming great stars. But it's probably the worst decision in Chelsea's history. Like losing, Kevin De Bruyne, and seeing what he ended up becoming
mad. Salah, the list goes on. Dude.
Oh, listen,
but again,
it's
James,
a bit mad.
We've talked about this 100 times. The reason why it doesn't matter is because Chelsea win. Chelsea are winners. Whether it's a change of manager, or spending more money, they don't care. Because with Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku, and Salah, or without them, they're going to win. Luco Chula, apparently Barca are saying that they might give Griezmann to Chelsea, but City are looking at him too. Honestly, Luca, I feel like the problem with Barcelona, and this has been an issue for a long time, and watch everybody, if you keep an eye on James, you might see his eyes roll in the back of his head here. Even with the Dembele deal, right? It's bad business sense. It's really bad business sense across basically what Barcelona are doing this summer is they're going, we're in debt, guys, we're in debt. And they're holding up signs going, fire sale, take whoever you want. We have no leverage. So you just sign whoever you want for whatever price. It doesn't matter. That's why this is going to be a long drawn out summer for Barca. Next year they might be kicked out of the Champions League. They may or may not have Messi. All these players that they've signed may not even be registered to the club. It is a mess in Barcelona right now, a real big mess.
Oh, listen, I don't think the Griezmann, the Coutinho and Dembele one to me was ones that were always,
too.
Yeah, but to me that whole Pjanic thing was mad because why would you swap the 30-year-old? You had a 23-year-old in Arte, you swapped the 30-year-old in Pjanic, and now you want to sell him and give him away on a free.
And Arte was better.
Oh, listen,
it's not like you were getting an upgrade there. Arte was better.
It was a really, really weird one, to be fair.
Yeah, Cormac McManus, Barca signed far too many over 30s, don't play enough of the youngsters they signed. Hey, man, I agree with you. And not even youngsters they signed, just La Masia players. We've seen Pedri, Ansu Fati. I kind of wish Timmy was here so he could tell me all the players that they have available. There was a centre back I think they like as well, and fullbacks that they've brought in. They've got Jorginho Dest as well. I know he is playing more games, to be fair, but they just. Some of the guys, it's just let it go. Let the young blood through.
Guys, for the next 5 minutes, we're just asking some random questions, whatever football related questions you want to answer, guys. We're gonna answer right here. We have another one.
Luco Chula, what did you think of Gilmour for Scotland, James? You want to take that one?
I'm a fan of him. I like what he does. He's to me like another academy product because me working around football and seeing a lot of academies, you see that sort of midfielder coming out. But to see that sort of midfielder at that high of a level, especially how young he is, how he's able to bring that into the first team level, it's brilliant. And you've seen what he's been able to do for Scotland. Yes, the only problem with him is that he won't be able to do that for Chelsea straight away. But in years to come, he's definitely a midfielder that if Jorginho does step away, he will definitely fill that void long term for Chelsea.
I think the issue historically for Chelsea and their academy players 9 times out of 10 is they're not going to get the opportunity. If Chelsea want to be where they want to be, which is Premier League every year, Champions League every year, is Billy Gilmour the starter for that team? He could develop into that, but at Chelsea, the team to allow him to develop, I don't think so. So unfortunately, there's going to have to be a certain level of, and I hate to say it, but and there are any Chelsea fans watching, but loan, and then probably sell, right? Or just sell, watch him become a superstar, but then no worries because we'll sign Eduardo Camavinga or whatever Chelsea would do as the alternative. Adrian Silva, where is Fonseca? I think Fonseca is probably at at his home with his, I'm sure, stunning wife, and they're just kind of chilling and they're waiting for a great opportunity in a big job because the Spurs one obviously didn't come through. But I'm still following his career. I'll be keeping an eye. Silver Surfer, who's going to win tomorrow? Silver Surfer, I've got England. I've got England 2-0. James, I think you got the same, right?
I think I do have the same. I'm not. But England, like England, definitely winning that game. But I wouldn't be surprised if a little shock happens. We've seen crazy things in football. Jack, we have another question for you.
Who's the player to watch in Serie A next season? I hate to say this, guys, because I sound like horribly biased. Nicolo Zaniolo is coming back from his second ACL tear. And I'm telling you now that if he'd have played all season for Roma this year and he'd have been fit, he'd have been the starting right winger for this Italy team in this tournament, ahead of Chiesa, ahead of Berardi. Seriously, Nicolo Zaniolo is a special player. He just keeps getting hurt. So cross your fingers and your toes and touch wood with me that he'll be back fit and firing this next season. Jimmy Uso got another DUI. Looks like WWE will sack him.
Well, first of all, they're not going to stack him because he's in the big storyline right now. But I'm pretty sure this is like his 6th or 5th DUI. He's got one like every single year right now. And how does he still have a driver's license? It's a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't know. America, they let you buy guns. So
seriously, but WWE are going to need to sort him out because that could be fatal one of these days.
But guys, honestly, WWE is for any excuse right now to fire people.
I was speaking to Jed, and like Jed said, the coolest thing that WWE could do is use that part in a storyline, just get Roman Reigns just to beat Jimmy Uso, like you disgrace the family and all that. Like it would be so cool.
Or have Jeff Hardy come in and do like a drugs storyline with with his drinking. Luco Chula, Tammy Abraham, man, great example. Feel bad for him. He's a good player. He wasn't in Tuchel's plans. What do you think? It's good for him. He's got to go, mate. Honestly, I remember reading a tweet earlier on in the season about like they were just listing all these stats and these fantastic achievements, and then at the bottom it's like, this is an academy player and he's called Tammy Abraham, and you go, oh my god, he's actually achieved great.
One sec, Jack. Sammy, hope you're okay. Hopefully the pain goes away, but thank you.
Stay
Appreciate the love, Sammy.
But yeah, Tammy Abraham, it's a great example. I think Tammy Abraham needs to find himself a mid-table Premier League team, have a couple great years, and then move to a big team, whether it's in England or whether it's abroad. I do think Tammy's, James, Tammy Abraham and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think that's pretty close, don't you?
Yeah.
In terms of talent?
You know what it is? Chelsea is such a hard place to beat. Yeah. And if you're a striker, you look back at Chelsea's heritage of strikers. There have been a lot of great strikers who have failed at Chelsea. A lot. Andrei Shevchenko, Fernando Torres,
Morata.
But for Chelsea to be successful, they need a top striker. But unfortunately, Tammy Abrahams, to me, doesn't carry that burden. He doesn't have the ability. I watch him at times, and I said, for such a big guy, he's not that great with his head. He doesn't take chances in big moments. He is a player that, for me, that needs to go down to an Everton or a mid-table team in Newcastle and just get a few goals and just get used to playing the Premier League year in and year out.
We've just seen Andre Silva go from Eintracht Frankfurt to RB Leipzig, right, for a bunch of money. Now, Andre Silva had 28 goals last year. You can't tell me that if you put Tammy Abraham in that position in that squad and they play to that level, Tammy Abraham wouldn't get 18, 20 goals next year and his stock would go through the roof. I would be, a lot of these English guys, I would be pushing for moves to Germany like crazy, honestly. Bryson Coburn, curious to see what your thoughts are on this. I honestly think Villa have the potential to sneak 6th place. Their entire back line is extremely underrated, solid midfield and a great front four. Hey, I agree with you, mate. Not to kind of turn this into just a purely Jack Grealish conversation, but I think that if Jack Grealish is a part of that team or not a part of that team, that is a huge indicator of where they're going to finish. And the other thing I'd say is as well, all these teams are going to get better. The transfer window, a team can be 2 signings away from being right back in the thick of it. I'm sure James will be pessimistic about this, but if Arsenal just get a couple of players, Arsenal could easily be back up in that top 6 conversation. It's going to be very tough for Villa, but we'll see.
But me and him actually spoke about it. But right now, if we're being truthfully honest, Villa are rivals with teams like Arsenal and Tottenham at this moment of time.
Yeah.
They're right there with us in like their improvements. Like right now, Arsenal haven't improved. Tottenham haven't improved. They have. So you would probably put a Villa ahead of an Arsenal at this moment.
He's also just said, James Bryson, it's assuming that they do get Smith Rowe, and like
I don't think they'll get Smith Rowe. If I'm being truthfully honest, guys, if you've seen my other videos, you know how I feel about Smith Rowe. I
appreciate
you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. But again, Smith Rowe is a player to me that of Arsenal that he's a youth player. He's came in, developed pretty well, and I still want to see him develop at Arsenal. He could be anything, and I don't think Arsenal will let him go.
Bryson, just Fonseca rejected Spezia. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's been linked with the Real Madrid job, the Spurs job. Like, I'm not surprised. So. I think the thing with, if you consider like Grealish, Emi Buendia feeding somebody like Ollie Watkins, you can see the offensive ability there. The midfield is somewhat strong. The defensive line, you talked about being underrated. The goalkeeper had like the year of his life last.
Listen,
last year.
He's killing it for Argentina like right now. Also, Emi Martinez. How did Arsenal let this guy go and keep Bernard Leno? I don't want to talk about that because I'll get vexed.
Bryson, I don't think you're crazy, mate. I just, it's the classic problem where I think you and I could both name at least 4 or 5 teams who are definitely going to finish above them. And basically what you're saying is that Villa are going to be the best out of that kind of tier below, which, as James has mentioned, does include Arsenal, does include Spurs, does include like a West Ham and Everton, a Leicester. These are all teams that are going to continue to get better and compete. So I don't know about that, but you might be right. Cormac McManus, Villa are so underrated, just don't have enough depth in quality, struggle to win games without Grealish. James, do you want to take that
one? Yeah, I mean, Villa are a team that I'm not sure exactly what you're going to get, but there is a Villa with Grealish, and then there's a Villa without Grealish, and you can clearly see the difference. In again, it's going to depend on Jack Grealish's fitness overall in the year. Like if he's fit, they're a top half team. If he isn't, you know what happens.
Just to say though, guys, don't think that Emi Buendia has just purely been brought in to make the team better. Emi Buendia is Jack Grealish's replacement. Trust me. Now, maybe this summer, but also maybe next summer. But whether you like it or not, right? That's what's happening here. It's the exact same way, James. Just to finish this example quickly, it's just the exact same way with Leicester. Boubakary Soumaré has come from Lille into that Leicester setup because Leicester are fully aware that Wilfred Ndidi or Yuri Tielemans or James Maddison is going to go either this summer or next summer. It's smart, good business, just generally speaking. So I think Villa are where they should be right now. And, we'll see. Sorry, James, go ahead.
Just again, I don't know too much about Lokonga, if I'm being honest.
Neither do I really.
Like Silver Surfer, I do need to do more research about him, but if Arsenal putting that much of a fuss into him, he must be decent.
What I would say, Silver Surfer, with Lokonga and then also James, the fullback, whose name is killing me right now, Tavares. Both these guys are under 21 international players for good international teams. Now, what that says to me, I haven't seen either of them play really, but what that says to me is that these are guys potentially with high upside, right? And what that could mean is if they play some games and they do well, these could develop into great players that Arsenal, in the future will be talking about, oh, what a steal. But I think the problem that James and I have always had with these types of signings for Arsenal is you're making the overall quality still good, but what you need is that clear difference between your first 11 and then the squad that kind of feed in to develop and players to cover certain areas of the pitch. Whereas Arsenal, it seems to be a lot of like buying a lot of these 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 players and just hoping magically it'll work at some point. And as we know, it doesn't always work that way. We need, your first 11 needs to be 9s and 8s out of 10s, and those 6s and 7s need to be on your bench.
Last bit. How much do you think Jack Grealish is actually worth?
Oh, geez.
I don't know. And after this,
I don't know how much he's got left on his contract. James,
he signed a big contract like 2 years ago. If I remember, he signed a big contract.
So probably 2 or 3 years left. Then you'd imagine maybe 3.
I think he has 4 or 5 left.
25 years old.
Yeah.
Probably has kind of his biggest like market value at the moment, you would say, in terms of public perception and all this kind of stuff. And obviously coming off a good Euros, whenever he comes on, he has that high assists or goals per 90 minutes and all that kind of stuff. James, I hate to say it as well. Obviously, it depends on the team buy-in as well, because we know that teams with more money will obviously be asked to pay more money. But I think realistically, anywhere in kind of the 50 to 60 mil, I think is about fair. I'd say probably around 60. But again, depends who's buying. James, do I think Jack Grealish is worth 100 million? No, I don't. But 60 million, it taken into account that kind of English tax thing as well. 60, maybe up to 70, depending on the buying team. But that's where I'd probably sit on him.
Oh, Jack, a man with good reason. I think 50 to 60 million is actually the right price for a player like a Jack Grealish. But guys, it's getting quite late right now. I appreciate everybody from coming out. The people who have shared comments with us today. Definitely hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We thank you guys for watching. We will be back next time, guys. England
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, depending on how drunk Jack gets, we might go live, or I might come live. If England win, I might get drunk. I don't drink, but guys, thank you for watching. This is Box to Box Football. Please hit that subscribe button. Thank you, and